Yo guys, what is going on? It is Invin here, and today what I'm bringing to you all is an update video to the removing of the tuning orbs that was in the previous dev update video given to us in June. Now for those that aren't aware, essentially what is going to be happening in New World is we are going to see the keys that are currently required to join either an expedition or a mutated expedition be removed from the game. Those of you that already have the keys and have some left after this update goes live in July, so it's not going to be this month, it's going to be next month in July, will receive some boss loot in return for it, and going forward what you will get is access to 15 normal expeditions or dungeons per day, what was going to be 20 mutations per week. So this post is essentially reading through that, so what I'm going to do is go through the post, break it down for you guys in a very quick format so you can stay up to date with this latest news and announcements. Now as you guys can see, it's pretty fresh. This was posted just last night for me on the forum, so I thought I'd bring you guys the video on this today. And essentially they're saying thanks for the feedback on the new implementation, as in removing the orbs and putting in instead a limiter of 15 daily regular dungeons and 20 weekly mutations. The limitations on the entry mechanic for expeditions allows us to provide great loot and progress on the expertise system. For example, acquiring tuning orbs required players to utilize the game's other activities such as crafting, faction missions and closing corruption breaches. Those activities make instance farming inefficient for bots. It also makes economic and power progression less severe between players who have the time to play dozens of expeditions per day versus those players who do not have as much time. Now looking back, we missed the mark with the initial implementation, which had much more friction to daily play than was intended. After hearing your initial feedback on the tuning orb, we've added them to the faction shop as an interim step, while we've worked towards the goal of removing the orb requirement altogether. Now like I said at the start, for those of you that aren't yet aware, this is going to be in July when this happens, so it's going to be July update when we see this, probably towards the end of July. It's generally when we see these updates go live, and that is when this is going to be added, so don't think it's in the next couple of weeks, but it is shortly on its way, or soon, where they should trademark this on a New World. Now the intention behind the daily/weekly limitations was to remove all of the friction from entering the expeditions, which is a great move, something a lot of players have wanted for months and months, and give players an ample opportunity to optimize their reward gain while leveling the playing field with players. On average, our data shows that less than 5% of the players who run mutated expeditions run more than 25 mutated expeditions in a given week. The majority of our players that do run mutated expeditions complete between 5 and 20 each week. We initially chose 20 per week as that accounts for around 85% of the mutated expedition runs per week. We've heard your feedback and are raising the limit on mutated runs from 20 to 25 per week to better accommodate the 95% of players who are running mutated expeditions per week. Now this limit ensures a more equitable progression for those players who do not have the time to run more than 25 per week versus those that do. Essentially just means they want to make it more fair and try to keep it somewhat of a balance between players who have more time than others and less, and vice versa. So 25 per week is going to be the new total. Now what they've said there is 95% of players that accounts for, but a lot of you guys in the comment system of when I uploaded the video kind of breaking down this update said, well actually, yeah, this is fine, but things like helping players with lower level ones, you'll be less inclined to do if you're limited to a certain amount per week yourself. Also, things like if each player has 20 times where they can open a mutated expedition and it doesn't require everybody else to have those availability there and it doesn't use up their slots, it's just for hosting, then that's a completely different story. But given that this change has come in, I'm assuming that it means that you can participate in 25 per week. But obviously, if anyone from New World is watching this, if you could clarify that, that'd be awesome. Is it 25 that we can host, or is it 25 that we can join and participate in? Now, like I said there, I do assume that it is participation, given that they've said most players run that amount, so they're upping that. And of course, without requiring a key for somebody to actually start this, that is pretty cool. I guess just one player will go over to the entrance with the party and it can teleport everybody in, and it's just until you've done your ones per week. But Maybe it should be changed to hosting, I don't know. I quite like the way that this is running, but a few players have been voicing their concerns on this. However, I do think that 25 per week is absolutely ample. It gives those players that are endgame a good chance to get a solid amount of Umbral Shards. It gives you a good chance to progress one of the new expeditions if you're trying to get your way up there in maybe the depths, for example. And it also gives those players that are playing a lot per week, or even not a lot per week, the chance to just complete them as and when they want without worrying about wasting keys or not being up on top of the cooldowns, etc., which I think is a good thing. Now finally here they go on to say, we hope that this increase will give more players easier access to the expeditions and their loot, along with keeping the progression disparity acceptable between players who can play dozens of hours per week versus those who cannot. Our PTR with these changes opens soon, and we look forward to hearing your feedback on the new changes. So yeah, they're going to test this in the PTR, see how it goes, see what people say about it, see what people are feeling, and of course they're looking forward for feedback on this, so let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of it so far. As soon as the PTR opens and we can get hands-on with some of this stuff, I will be testing it, letting you guys know how it works, so stay tuned on the channel for that. But other than that, that's going to be it for today, so make sure you drop in a subscribe and a like if you haven't already done so. Both those things hugely help to support my channel, so I'd really appreciate it. And other than that, I will catch you guys all again very shortly with a brand new upload. So thanks for your time, thanks for watching, take care, and peace.